When we think of main shonen protagonists, I would go so far as to say that kindness is not one of the first things that comes to mind. Throughout the history of anime, we have seen characters who are absurdly dim-witted, impressively stoic, overly ambitious, or just the embodiment of pure craziness. But the red-haired protagonist of Demon Slayer, Tanjiro Kamado, shows us a different emotion. Of all things, it's kindness and an unwavering sense of altruism. With this being our main character of Demon Slayer, and one who I believe revolutionized the notions of what it means to be a character in shonen, I find it only fitting to analyze the dust-and sunbreather himself, Tanjiro. In this video, we'll be looking at his upbringing, events throughout the story, and the impression he leaves on us, the viewer, to discuss exactly how his kindness molds him into a character that distinguished himself from shonen anime as a whole, and made him quite unusual as a result. I'm really excited to share all of this with you, so without further ado, let me jump right into it. What's up, anime fanbase? Welcome back to Anime Analysis, a channel dedicated to discussing and analyzing all things anime has to offer. We're back at it again with another Demon Slayer analysis video, this time featuring our boy Tanjiro Kamado. If you like this video and want to see more Demon Slayer discussion videos or have additional anime you'd like to see me cover, smash that thumbs up button and don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Something that I'm sure any viewer of Demon Slayer cannot deny is Tanjiro's emphasis on kindness and compassion for those around him. Frankly, it doesn't even matter who these people are. They could be his friends, family, or even the demons that he fights. There's no denying that this kindness came directly as a result of his loving family that laid the foundation for his ideals that we see throughout the story. And with this upbringing, this is yet another thing that separates Tanjiro from many other main characters in shonen. To my knowledge at least, he is one protagonist that comes into the story without any significant baggage, so to speak. Take a look at some popular anime and their main protagonists. Naruto is plagued with being an outcast and struggles with a deep feeling of emptiness. Gon Freaks, whether he believes it or not, struggles with his own morality and completely shatters when encountering anything that sits within the realms of black and white. And on the other hand, Luffy struggles with a massive level of impulsivity, to the point where he's even lost the respect of some of his crewmates. These aren't minor things that are brushed off by the characters of the show and viewers alike. They are essential to creating who the character is as a work of fiction. A lot, if not most times, the things forged in characters' paths aid overall character development within a story, because the issues that they each face is something that they work on and strive to overcome throughout the events of their respective storylines. Tanjiro, on the other hand, is completely different. We see him at the beginning of the story as basically a normal hardworking boy, living peacefully in the mountains with his humble and caring family. In a refreshing change of pace for most shonen, nothing is out of place. So immediately I think it's clear that Gotoge wanted to break the mold of traumatized or damaged shonen characters when she created Tanjiro. But with all this being said, he still hits many of the key elements of a shonen main character. So as we jump into the events of the story, let's keep in mind how Tanjiro firmly fits into a common shonen stereotype while completely breaking free from this commonality at other times. As I'm sure many of you are aware of Tanjiro as you're watching this video, let's first talk about what ties him to all of his shonen counterparts. Number 1, he begins the story with a clear, defined goal in mind, which is to turn his demon sister Nezuko into a human. Number 2, he has a secret power-up that he wasn't aware of until the time absolutely called for it. Number 3, related to this, he comes from an incredibly overpowered lineage, which gives him access to the most powerful breathing techniques in the entire story. Number 4, he has an incredibly rapid rate of growth. One specific example of this is that he couldn't do anything to Akaza, an upper moon, during their first encounter on the demon train, but then matches and even surpasses him only a few arcs later. And lastly, number 5, He has a desire to get stronger to further his goal and protect those close to him. As I'm sure we all know, the story begins with Tanjiro arriving back at the Kamado household to find every member of his family slaughtered, except for his little sister Nezuko. The first thought that crosses his mind isn't one of revenge or hatred. It's the thought of saving the last thing that he truly holds dear in this world, perfectly lining up the clear goal of Tanjiro throughout the story. This is what makes Tanjiro different from those we see in revenge stories time and time again. This scene perfectly illustrates Tanjiro's biggest and most defining character trait, his compassion. In a beautiful sense of irony, Tanjiro's ultimate goal, which is shared by a lot of shonen protagonists, is based on a motivation that is shared by none of them. This compassion is shown in countless instances throughout the story, and it is even made a point to where the demons he faces express their thoughts on how kind this character truly is. Tanjiro is the only person in the series who sees the demons he fights as people, but paradoxically wants to fight them for their wrongdoings in the world. When looking at things from a high level, it speaks to a large amount of maturity that we don't get to see that often in shonen. Normally, the shonen protagonists that we do see have some sort of flaw that hinders their goal in some way, but Tanjiro shows us differently. He shows us that he can both be caring and an absolute savage in battle. This is why I believe that Tanjiro fits in the extremely small percentage of shonen protagonists that show close to zero character development. Let me know in the comments if there are any characters that you feel are worthy of this title as well. Now, I know that there are people who will argue that if a character doesn't change, then it makes them a flat and relatively bad one. In my humble opinion, this could not be farther from the truth. I think that Tanjiro is an incredible character despite his differences on what we believe make up an excellent one. As opposed to a positive or a negative character arc where we see our protagonists accept or reject pieces of their lives, Tanjiro begins the series with the ideals that he carries with himself until the end of the story. To me, I think this only serves to make him more admirable as a character, given that his journey from beginning to end never swayed who he was as a person in the slightest. I think this is also why Tanjiro received a lot of mixed reception from the audience due to this fact. It's become an expectation in shonen for the hero to grow and change throughout the story. So when Tanjiro was introduced and fleshed out to be a character whose kindness was not going away anytime soon, I honestly think that frustrated a lot of people. So you may be asking then, what's the purpose of Tanjiro's character if he isn't meant to change in any significant way? Well, like most shonen heroes, Tanjiro is the exact opposite of our main antagonist, Muzan Kibutsuji. As previously mentioned in my Rengoku video, which by the way I was not expecting to take off in the way it did, so I can't thank you all enough for that. Many characters in Demon Slayer exhibit an over-the-top personality of some sort. As a result, Tanjiro and Muzan's personalities could not be more different. Tanjiro cherishes and cares for all life, while Muzan despises it and sees it as something that's entirely dispensable, killing without any second thought. In fact, it's a clear point that Muzan is obsessed with immortality and running away from death altogether. Tanjiro is emphasized and made out to be a character who will always put others before himself. So instead of growing into a different person like many of his shonen counterparts, the goal of Tanjiro is staying true to himself and his ideals, while ironically fighting literal demons to protect the lives of himself, his friends, and his sister Nezuko. If you need any more convincing of this kind and selfless nature, look no further than the Mugen Train movie, where it literally shows the physical manifestation of all our main characters' psyches. Tanjiro's is an open, clear, and endless body of water, serene, peaceful, and warm, completely willing to give to all without any expectation of reciprocity.
でも君の夢の中、心の中は温かかった。 君たちはこの人の心の化身だね。
All in all, Tanjiro is the personification of kindness itself. Sure, he may not be the typical shonen protagonist that we have come to expect, but in my opinion, he is one that we can all unquestionably love and respect. Did you agree with my analysis of Tanjiro? Are there any key parts of his character that I may have missed? Let me know some of your insights on him in the comments below. If you stuck around till the end, thank you so much for watching. I love engaging with you guys and really do enjoy going in depth with these analysis videos. If you enjoyed this video, I'll leave a link to my growing Demon Slayer analysis playlist and would love it if you guys checked it out. Lastly, if you like this video, make sure to smash that thumbs up button and subscribe for more anime video analysis content. As always, it's been Dill from Anime Analysis, and until next time, stay curious, anime fam.